An Adam Audio A5 power monitor came in because the power switch is shot. It won't move. It's locked up. It's broken inside. And I was curious about the sound of these anyway. I was considering getting a pair of A5s or A7s for myself, so this is good timing. And I looked at the switch, and it looked like a Cherry or E-switch kind of, round rocker. I've seen these all over Mauser and DigiKey. Didn't think it'd be a problem. And it had a heat shrink tubing all over the primary connections, which have gone back into the amp. I can get them back out. And cut them all away, only to find that right in here, they epoxied the switch to this plastic front panel. So the epoxy is stronger than this plastic. It is stronger than the plastic of the power switch. Any solvent that would affect that epoxy would do terrible damage to this front panel. It's one of those things where could I change it out? Yeah, but it would be a very tedious, long procedure, and I don't think it would be fair to the client for me to charge him a couple $100 to change a $3 power switch. Let's say it's a $7 power switch. Ooh. I contacted Adam Audio because from looking at this, there's a PCB which holds the volume pot, and it was epoxied to this. This whole thing is a sub-assembly that they wire, do 2 wires to probably solder at the other end, probably assemble it all together. It's got a little quick connect here going to the volume and LEDs. Let me make sure that's tight. So I called Adam Audio's service department in LA just now, and this is an older model, and he said they don't show any in stock for the sub-assembly, but he's going to look around and see if they have any laying around somewhere. If they do, that's fantastic. It'd be very easy to change that out. There's a little multi-pin connector for most of it, and then just 2 wires. Done deal. And the owner said if they have them, get him 2, because of course he has 2 of these. One would be a spare. If that is not an option, my plan is to put this back together, and the volume and LEDs will still work, and the power switch will still look pretty. It won't light up, but it'll look pretty. And I initially thought about putting a power switch somewhere here on the rear panel, but there is not any space for such a thing. The entire rear panel surface is taken up. Looking at the construction, I'm impressed. What I can see is a whole bunch of 3-hole components, good quality stuff. The power resistors are mounted off the board, 105-degree rated capacitors of good brands. So what I would do, worst case scenario, is make it look all pretty from the front and just join those 2 wires together so the unit is always on, and have the owner buy, he can spend as much money on it as he wants, but you can go to the hardware store, get a little power strip for $10 with an on-off switch, and that's how he power his monitors on and off, just from a power strip. And it doesn't make me look like the Wunderkind, but it would sure save him a couple $100 that don't really need to be spent. So it'd just be a matter of soldering this blue and a red wire together, taping it off, and then this would be purely functional. As much as I like to get the assembly, because it's nice to have everything working as originally intended, I don't think that's worth tilting that windmill. And it's a shame that they epoxied it. This is a snap-in switch, and even if it had a little bit of wiggle after it was snapped in, they could have just put a couple dabs of silicone in, or something less cruel than epoxy. It could be worse. It could be a gooped pedal, like a RC booster or something. When those break, you just have to get another one, because chipping away the epoxy that's coating all the components damages the components. It's just a bad move to goop or to use epoxy where it is not absolutely necessary. Here endeth the lesson, and once I hear back from the parts guy for Adam Audio in LA, either I'll have 2 new assemblies being shipped to me, in which case this thing will go back to being as it was, or I'll just do my little cost-saving move, Make it always on and use a power strip. Whatever works, man. Whatever works. Well, I did not hear anything back from the guys at Adam Audio, so I hardwired this switch to always be on. So it's always up. It physically won't move, but if you turn it on with a power strip, I'll flip the switch on my receptacle here. As you can see, it powers on, and you still have the on light. That's nice. And since I only have the one, I need to test mono, so let's do that. I've actually tested it at full volume with a little bit more material than just that, but that's enough to not get the video blocked, I think. Mono's fun.